Today we're going to be talking about how to get started on eBay in 2021. Let's get started. Well, what's going on, you guys? I'm Jamie. Welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. And like I said in the intro, today we're going to be talking about how to get started on eBay in 2021. Now, I will link down below anything that is useful for starting your eBay account and this whole process for you. First thing though, we need an eBay account. So how do you get one? Basically, they're going to be asking you for an email and some personal information like your name, address, stuff like that. Nothing too personal, but they're basically just trying to verify you as a person. Now, the other thing, I personally went ahead and signed up for a new Gmail account, and I used that instead of my regular email account, just because as your business grows or your part-time business or just your hobby grows, I personally want to keep that separate from my everyday email. So now there's two ways to get paid via eBay. Either PayPal, which is the old way. I'm currently using PayPal still, but most new accounts and most old members are being switched over to eBay Managed Payments. Now, I do believe it's still basically either through your bank account or credit card. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not on it, but I definitely know that most people have said that it goes through your bank account, and they do hold the funds for a few days before it gets to you. But we can talk about that a little bit later. Okay, now that we have our eBay account and our payment set up, whether it be PayPal or Managed Payments, we need items to sell. We need to source some items. So there's a few ways you could source. Thrift stores, estate sales, garage sales, or you can just look around your house for stuff that you're no longer using that you still find value in, like electronics, old video games, stuff like that. A good example of stuff you might have lying around the house. Here's a day one Xbox One controller, some old video games, games you maybe played and beat. Maybe they're not, they're out of date now. 2K20, 21's probably already out. I'm not even sure, but stuff you're not using anymore that still has value. Those are the kind of things around your house you want to be looking for. And so here you have, obviously, at some point there was money paid for this, but at the moment you don't have to put out any money. You're just going to be flipping it to make money. Now, if you went to a thrift store and found a game for $2, you'd be into it $2. But this I would consider just already owned. So we're just basically going to be learning how to use eBay with stuff that we already have around our house. Things you're going to need: a good camera, or at very least a good cell phone. So this is just an iPhone 11. It's not, anything crazy, but it is a good phone. It takes good pictures. Now, the other thing you need is good lighting. So if you don't have box lights or LED lights or something to light, I generally do use this area to take a lot of pictures. The other thing you can use is just use the natural light from your window, or you can go outside. So if I'm in Canada, it's currently winter. I'm not going outside to take pictures, but if it was spring, fall, summer, you can go outside, you can just lay it on something flat, whether it be the cement or a piece of wood or whatever you want to, and you can just use the natural light, and it will make really great pictures because the light is getting lit from every angle. You're not going to have so many issues with shadows and things looking weird. So outside's a really good option. You can manipulate the light coming in through a window too, like I said, but those are the best options for lighting that you're not gonna have to pay for right off the bat. Now, we really want to make sure to take some good pictures, so we're gonna get a picture of every angle that we can possibly show. I'll throw up on the screen pictures of this actual item I took this morning. This is something I just listed. Basically, you want to make sure you have all angles. You want to have all the flaws shown. So if there's an issue with this one, which there isn't an issue with it that I can see. I mean, there's a little bit of dirt and stuff. There's not major scuffs, scratches. There's not a big, if there's a chunk out of the back here, I'd want to definitely point out the flaw, because basically if somebody gets it and you don't describe it with the flaw, they can open a case against you and it becomes this whole big thing. So you're better off just to say, if you can see any flaws or there's any issues with it, just be upfront about it, and that way eBay will have your back if there's ever any problems. So now, if we're looking at the listing here, you get 80 characteristics. So mine is genuine OEM, so that's the original Microsoft Xbox One wireless controller 1537. That's the model number, black, no headphone jack. This one doesn't have that, right? Then as you go down, you can have your category. So I picked video game controller. Description is basically, you can write, so if we had flaws, the description here, that's where you'd write. If there was a chunk out of it, you'd write that. A lot of times I'll take an extra picture where I'm pointing out the flaw, and I'll say see pictures for details as well. Other than that, you're going to get into your delivery stuff, which is your shipping and your preferences and all that stuff. That's basically it. So you want to basically describe what you have the best that you can within 80 characteristics, and then if you have any flaws, you want to mention them in the description. Now, I think when you first start out, eBay allows you to do about 10 items. They tell you can do 50, but there's actually a limit on it until you sort of prove yourself as a seller. So after you sell like 3 or 4 things, you can contact eBay once they've been shipped and delivered. And they will usually increase your numbers that you can list up to 25, maybe all the way up to 50. It depends on every unique circumstance. But that is something you're gonna have to remember when you first start. You only get about 10 listings that you can post. So now what else do we need to know? We need to know that we need a printer, or at least access to a printer, because after we do sell something, we're gonna print off our shipping label, most likely at home. You could just print out the address and everything and take it to the post office, but it is a bit of an inconvenience. And the more you get used to doing things like that by yourself, and you can use, in Canada, I use Shippo. I think in the US, you can print labels directly from eBay. And then a lot of people will use like Pirate Ship, which is a third party, you can buy labels third party from them from a little cheaper, I think. It's always a good idea to price out, if you do sell something, price out maybe who's gonna give you the best price shipping wise, because they're all gonna be different. But you know, that's something you're gonna have to learn as you go. So the one thing I never talked about is how to price your items to sell. So let's go back to that point. So here's Skyrim Special Edition for Xbox One. So if I type that in, it brings up all the listings for Skyrim. If you go up to filters, you go to sold and completed listings. Now I think this is for the last 90 days or something, but these are all the listings that have sold. Some are with free shipping, so $30 free shipping. This one sold for $24 plus $18 shipping, 30 plus shipping, 19. So I think I listed mine this morning for like $19.98 plus shipping. For me, I do flat rate shipping. So in Canada, it's like $15. And if I'm shipping to the US, it's 20. I know that sounds like a lot. Shipping in Canada is a lot more expensive. So you basically have to make sure that you account for that when you do list something. But I will link down below a whole video on how you check out sold comps on a few items if you're not sure, because I know I just went through that pretty quick. But basically, you're putting your item up against things that have sold in the last 90 days to give you a good idea of how much yours will sell for. Now, if you're a brand new seller and you have no feedback on eBay, feedback is a big deal. It's basically how people know they can trust you. So if you're a new seller, sometimes, you know, if it's being sold for $19, you might want to list yours at a couple dollars lower, just so people might take a chance and buy it from you. Because if you're going to be going up against somebody with a lot of feedback or a lot of positive feedback, it's going to be hard for someone to buy from you if you have 0 total. Now, I did mention that I do flat rate shipping. Now, the other option is in eBay, under delivery, you can put in package size. So if you're going to slide this in a flat rate envelope, you would measure top to bottom and thickness, and then you would weigh it and you'd put those dimensions in eBay, and then it gives you some options of how you would ship it. And that way, if somebody's, say if you're in Ontario, Canada, like me, and I was going to ship it out to BC, they would give me the buyer a calculated rate on how much shipping would cost. So it would help you in the long run. It's just a lot more work. And for me personally, I'm pretty comfortable with my flat rates. You know, sometimes I make a couple dollars, sometimes I lose a couple dollars on shipping, but for me, it's much more simple. So that's the way I do it. But there is a way to do it calculated so that you know that your shipping cost is covered. And for new sellers, that's probably the smarter thing to do. But you know, these are all personal decisions that you'll have to make as you build your eBay business. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is shipping supplies. So I have cardboard boxes. Back in there, I have some poly mailers. These are all things that I did have to pay for. You know, you can source them through friends and family who get boxes from eBay. You can get, you know, boxes from work, but it is an expense that a lot of people don't think of. You know, packing paper, bubble wrap. You basically want to make sure you pack everything safely and properly when you're shipping it out, especially if it's something that's breakable. So those are things you do have to keep in the back of your mind when you're ready to sell on eBay. I hope this helped you getting started in your business in 2021. You know, you have to get an account, you have to find a way to get paid, whether that's through managed payment or PayPal. You have to find items to list, you have to take good pictures, describe them well, have good customer service with your customers. You know, those are the basics. You have to have good shipping supplies, make sure you pack things well. This is all pretty basic stuff, but if you're just learning, there's a lot to learn. So if this helps you out at all, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel for more content. Take care, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.